But I think the main things is at the end of the day, volleyball is volleyball. It's in the same 9x9 court, and the rules are the same. So we. Is that on the back of your shirt?
Yeah, that's on the back of the shirt.
You did. A little free shout out for you. And it doesn't matter who's on the other side of the net. You need to still execute to the best of your ability if you want a chance to win.
That is right, Brett Walsh. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 9x9's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. The 81 square meters of the best volleyball coverage on the internet. I am Rob St. Clair in Chicago. That is Everett Delorme in Toronto. Today is Monday, August 5th, 2024. And you will remember this date as the greatest day of Olympic men's volleyball of all time. Of all time, the greatest day in the history of our sport just unfolded right in front of our eyes with just an all-time unbelievable slate of 4 quarterfinal matches that delivered in a way that none of us could have ever possibly imagined. And we're going to get into all of it, and you all are in exactly the right place. Everett, we'll talk about all the games, obviously, but first and foremost, let's put up this bracket and let's just talk about this day.
Bro.
What was this day?
Bro. I'm exhausted.
Me too.
I'm exhausted. I messaged you for something at like 10 p.m. Eastern time. You're like, yeah, tomorrow I'm going to bed right now. And I was like, that's probably a good idea. Sleep did not happen. I did not sleep before the first game. I slept maybe for 45 minutes before Slovenia, Poland. And then I've gotten some naps in between a little bit, but it's been all worth it. This has been the best day of volleyball ever. 4 jam-packed matches of wall-to-wall action, the best teams going toe-to-toe. I felt nervous. I felt excited. I was in awe at multiple points. I was chirping people in the Discord. We were having a lot of fun today. Today was an absolutely all-time day. And I think, Rob, that all matches were great. We didn't really see an upset at all. We didn't see any upsets. And we have arguably the best 4 teams in the world right now in the semifinals. And I absolutely love it.
I love it too. I've been pretty consistent. I think we as a show have been quite consistent since long before even just this summer. But for the majority of this entire quad, we have said that there are. I'll speak for myself. I have said there are 4 teams that have a chance to actually win Olympic gold on the men's side, and those 4 teams, in no particular order, are Italy, France, Poland, and the United States. And look who our semifinalists are.
And I think we managed to get the 1-4-2-3 matchup as well too.
Slovenia was the 3 and Poland was the 6.
No, but in my own in my soul.
Yeah, I agree.
If I was to rank the teams right now, I would rank Poland 1, just on paper. I would say Poland 1, Italy 2, France 3, USA 4. With the Italy versus Poland, maybe not. But these are the matchups that I want. These are the matchups that I want, Rob, and this is just outstanding. I can't wait to break down these matches, and I think maybe that's what we should do.
Let's do it. Just the caliber of the entertainment of that day. It's our sport is truly the best sports product in the world, and when you combine that with the greatness of the Olympic Games,
bro, Tom Brady saw that today.
Yeah, he did, and so did Serena Williams.
Yeah,
and if those people saw that, that is not going to be nothing but good for the sport of volleyball. And oh my goodness! First and foremost, at 9 a.m. local time, we have a bunch of very, very happy people in our community and in our chat watching right now. Congratulations to Poland! It is over. It is done. For the first time in 44 years, if I'm not mistaken, Poland is in the Olympic semifinals. The demon is gone. Iga Swiatek, the tennis player, was there watching it. She's I think number 1 in the world on the women's side, and Polish volleyball is finally where they think they belong, and I agree with them. They exorcised every demon that there has been for close to 20 years. They beat Slovenia 3-1, and they're in the Olympic semifinals.
And it's the ultimate cleansing of the bad juju too, by beating Slovenia, a team that has plagued them throughout the 2010s, right? numerous Euro volleys were ruined for this Polish team by Slovenia. So you hate to see how it ended for Slovenia. How great, like it's what we saw at VNL all over again. Be so stellar, be so dominant all throughout the preliminary phase and all throughout the group stage. But then once you get to go time in the playoffs, you can't get it done. Right? That's 2 tournaments in a row now that they've really dominated throughout, finished as one of the top teams, and then lost out in the quarterfinals to a lower ranked team. So I think at the end of the day, like, there's a lot to be said about this Slovenian team and everything that they've done, but they weren't able to get it done in gut time. But breaking down the match a little bit, Rob, I thought that for the first time in this tournament, we saw both Leon and Kurek be outstanding.
Yes.
And be dominant and be the players that they could be.
Wilfredo Leon, 20 points, 14 for 34, attacking, 1 block, and 5 aces. Now that is the key. And Bartosz Kurek, 19 points, 18 for 38, attacking, and an ace, and definitely his best match of the tournament. I totally agree. Where I think this match was won on the Polish side, though, was in backcourt defense. Poland's backcourt defense was absolutely world-class, and the guy that I think deserves a lot of the credit for that is Tomasz Fornal. He played the absolute perfect center field middle back defensive position, and that allowed Leon and Kurek to have some of the best matches of their careers in one of the biggest moments. And that is not what I would have expected as a recipe for Poland to finally defeat the Demon in the quarterfinal, but however you need to do it, they kept the ball alive. They gave their attackers the right opportunities. And sure, Slovenia wasn't good today. I think it needs to be said that was by far the worst match at the Olympics. Like, that isn't really even debatable. Tonček Stern picked a pretty bad time to finally come back down to earth in his level of play. And although Slovenia stole that second set in like a miracle fashion, they didn't really have it on offense today the way that they have this tournament, and they certainly didn't have it from the service line. 5 aces to 20 errors compared to Poland, 12 to 17. That's kind of it right there.
I think when Poland's rolling with this, the matchup is just really unfavorable for Slovenia because they're really similar in styles of play. Like, you have a pretty simple setter who's just going to deliver the ball in space for the hitters to hit. And once again, like, when you make that comparison, okay. Once you make that comparison, like, Poland beats them out in literally every single position, as they do most teams, right? So yeah, I think ultimately you had a team that really relied on one player to score, and that player went 9 for 27, right? Like, you had one team that really needed one guy to score, and he was their I'm looking at their digs real quick, but he was their 3rd best scorer. And you can't have that. Just like, what's that? Like, an efficiency in the teens, not good enough for Tonček Stern, who in my opinion might have been the best player coming into this matchup in the tournament. One of them at least.
Yeah, and that is, you said it. Slovenia played some of, if not the best volleyball in the tournament in the pool play phase. They were just phenomenal, and they put themselves into the legitimate contender conversation. I mean, Everett included them amongst the other 4 teams and expanded that group to 5 that could actually win Olympic gold. And I agreed with the way that Slovenia was playing, but the magic of the Olympic Games got to them. I think we were kind of wondering coming into the tournament that when Slovenia got to the quarterfinals, which they would on talent because they're very, very good, how would they handle that moment in their first Olympics ever? And with the playoff, like, elimination game experience from the VNL earlier this year, which did not go well for them. And we all saw the answer. And on the other side of the net, Poland emotionally handled that quarterfinal better than they have in the last 20 years in 5 previous attempts. They weren't pushed to be the best versions of themselves today, but they were more than good enough, and they kept control emotionally. That should be a really good sign for their fan base.
Yeah, I said yesterday or the day before. I don't know. The days are all melding into one. It's all been a blur. That if Poland won this game, they'd be a serious contender for gold medal, and I truly believe that. The way they won this game is dominant. The way they won this game is like best in the world type of caliber. When you have two sets of artillery who are working in the way that Leon and Kurek are, and like those are two guys who are looking to cement their legacy, right? Those are two guys who are looking to. Who this will probably be the last time we see them in a national team jersey. Maybe not Leon, but definitely correct.
Definitely correct.
This is an opportunity here for both of these players to cement themselves at the top. There's so many storylines, literally in every single one of the teams in the quarterfinals. There's guys that you could point at to be like they're looking to cement their legacy as one of the best ever in volleyball. So, but I think Leon and Kurek might be the guys who feel that the most.
Maybe, and you could kind of tell that by the outpouring of emotion when the game was over on the court, and just like around Polish volleyball media. Like every single Polish related thing anywhere that I saw was just exploding in emotion. Like they everybody knew what was on the line. Everybody knew the curse of the Olympic quarterfinals. And I saw like whatever Polish media guys are there for TV that are there courtside, like doing the post-game shows live from the court that we want to do one day for all of global volleyball. Like, what's the guy's name? Zbigniew Bartman was there, and he was in tears talking about the significance of Bartosz Kurek's career and the significance of what now he and this Polish team have finally done, and the generations of Polish volleyball that came before that failed in all those quarterfinals, and how much that means to them. It's remarkable, the significance of it, and you can just feel it from all of Polish volleyball everywhere there is. And that's what we talked about. We knew that this match and this moment, given the storylines and given the media attention and the pressure and the passion, that this was going to be the biggest match of all of their careers, and Poland now can finally say that they've gotten that monkey off the back at last.
I mean, I don't think that this is going to be the biggest match of all of their careers. It has been up to this date, maybe, but the biggest match of all of their careers, the next is
2 days from now.
2 days from now, right? That is the biggest match. And Rob, like you're really right. Like you kind of hit me emotional. Like the growth of this Polish program over the past decade that we've watched. You know, I remember Poland getting third at the World League back in 2011. Yeah, 2011, and Kurek was kind of the guy who's playing on the left side at that point. And that was really the start. Funny enough, Bartman, I think that might have been the World League that Bartman got injured. I think he got injured in that bronze medal match against Argentina, if I'm not mistaken. It was a young Kurek against a young Facundo Conte, and Bartman got injured, and Jakub Jarosz came in and closed out the game for them. Ooh,
great memory, dude. Great memory.
Yeah, cheers to that. But like they really have, because I remember like the next year we hosted World League in Toronto, and I mean it was a rough weekend for Brazil, because not only did they lose to Poland for what I was told the first time ever, they also followed that up by losing to Canada as well. But when you look at what this Polish program has done over the past 15 years, and like winning multiple world championships and winning Euro volleys and winning their first Champions League and rattling off three in a row, like this is truly a country on the rise. And the last thing they need to do in all of that is win a gold medal. And in their minds, the biggest hurdle is gone, right? So it has been absolutely massive. And I think that now that emotion's gone, it has the possibility of doing so. However, I will say, I do live in a city that goes through something similar. And if I go back to the NHL playoffs of 2023, where not my beloved Maple Leafs, but I did not grow up in this, but the Toronto Maple Leafs finally won a first round playoff in like the first time in 20 years, and then proceeded to get absolutely donged by Florida in the next round. So I'm really hoping that that doesn't happen to Poland. However, they got to play Italy next, and that might as well be.
No, they don't.
Oh wait, no, you're right.
They get to play the United States next. I am hoping that they do get donged in the next round. But like, well, before I start preparing myself mentally to face Poland as an opponent, I want to add something similar. That's the first time I ever saw international volleyball in person was in Hoffman Estates, Illinois, like in the west suburbs of Chicago, when It was still the World League, and we used to host there every year. And Poland came to town to play the United States men. And I was in high school. I was very new to volleyball in general, and we packed that arena full. My dad and I were there, and we were in the 1% of that population in that stadium that was rooting for the United States. We were outnumbered 100-1 by Polish fans, and it was the first time I ever realized just how significant volleyball was to the Polish people, and also just how many Polish people there are in Chicago. Poland slapped us 3-0 that day. The likes of Marcin Mozjonek, the giant in the middle, was there. Michał Winiarski, who now coaches Germany, was on the left side. I think Paweł Zagumny was setting that team at that point. Like, this is like OGs of Polish volleyball. And I saw them like, man, this country and the way that their fans have showed up in a country that's not even theirs for that game, and the way they slapped my United States 3-0, I'm like what world is this? Like, what world do these people come from that they're also passionate about this game? And then sure enough, World Championship 2014, World Championship 2018, a lot of turnover in a lot of areas, but the failure would always come at the Olympics. And at least as far as that quarterfinal hurdle, not anymore.
Yeah, this is arguably one of the biggest wins. Not even arguably. I think this is one of the biggest wins in the history of Polish volleyball.
Definitely.
Right? Like this is without a doubt. And you know what? I would have liked to seen it be a little bit just for the fans' sake. I would have liked to have seen it been a little bit more competitive. However, just watching Poland play the way that they did was impressive enough, and was a great start to this fantastic day of volleyball.
Now, and one important thing moving forward is the health of Mateusz Bieniek's ankle. He rolled his ankle in the fourth set, I think, relatively late, and he had to go to the bench for Norbert Huber. And Nikola Gerberich expressed concern that it was a re-aggravation of the same injury that kept him out of the second half of the summer last year. So keep an eye on that if it happens that Poland is down to only 2 healthy middle blockers.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, hey, you're going to Norbert Huber on the bench.
Yeah, they'll be just fine unless one of them gets hurt again. Then it's like full alarm bells.
Yeah,
God forbid. Yeah, I'm playing them, and I certainly don't want that. To tie a bow on Slovenia, I think that they maximized what they had. Maybe they could have stolen a match in the Olympic quarterfinal, but I think that a medal was going to be real difficult for them to get. But they're the smallest country with the smallest population in the entire field, and they built something over the better part of a decade and got to the Olympic Games, won their pool, and inspired, hopefully, a younger generation of Slovenian volleyball players to keep them at that level. And what that core of Stern, Cebu, Earnout, Pajenk and Earnout are almost definitely done.
Yeah.
Maybe the rest stick around a little bit. We'll see about Stern.
Like Tonček is definitely done. Giga, who knows? But yeah, I mean, it is a little maybe bittersweet for this Slovenian team. I think, Rob, if they had lost to France, they would have had a better shot in the quarterfinals, right? I think that maybe if they had lost to France, that like no one was overlooking Slovenia after you win that pool. Right. No one was overlooking Slovenia and not preparing for them after the way that they played in the group stage. Right. So maybe if they had gone like 2-1, it would have been better. But then, who knows? And at the end of the day, this is what happened. I think Slovenia has a lot to be proud of. I think that Stern's only 27. So why did we think he was old?
Wow. I guess
when
he's 28. I really thought he was older.
When he was being like, when we were making fun of him in the Super League, he was like 25. Our bad, Stern.
Actually, Giga Stern is older than him? Wow, I had that completely backwards in my head.
Yeah, okay. I apologize.
Wow.
That's bad journalism on our side.
Wow.
But I am very interested to see what happens with the Slovenian program from here on out. But I think that they have a lot of things to be proud of.
Absolutely.
And they put their team and their country on the world map. So, and that's awesome.
Well said. All right. Good job, Poland. Next up, I'm preparing for you now to be the enemy, and I will stop talking nice about you for the next 2 days. We got to move on.
We've got Poland versus USA for the next 2 days, baby.
Yeah,
so
yeah, that's right. Women's followed by men's. It's time, Everett, for the match that I think will really define this day, and that will go down in the history books as one of the great volleyball matches ever played in the history of the sport. And I'm talking about Italy's all-time comeback to win the match against Japan in 5-17-15, and all the match points that they fought off in the third and in the fifth. And there is so much to talk about here. It was so dramatic. It had absolutely everything. I don't really even know where to start, except with just the spectacle that it was and the quality of entertainment that it was for the sport of volleyball.
Rob, I woke up a little bit later than I wanted to.
Same.
Yeah, I know you did. I know you did. And we were in the midst of Japan really throttling Italy in the first set. And I was just like, okay. Their serving pressure was on. They only missed that one serve in the first set. And they were playing really good. And it was clear to me right off the bat that first and foremost, Ishikawa was in his bag. He had 6 points in the first set. And then also that Sakita was in his bag and that he was dishing that butter. It was clear to me from the get-go that both of these guys were running it. Ishikawa was 6 for 9 in the first. Yuji Nishida was 5 for 8. Like, this was a very different Japanese team than we had seen previously from earlier in the tournament. And on the other side of the net, it was all right, but it was just not that great. In set 2, I found that Italy pretty much ran the show. Lavia was much better. Romano was much better, and Japan kind of snuck in there at the end. I may or may not have fallen asleep at the beginning of the third set, right? just a
that's
little.
That's right around the time when I woke up.
just a bit of an accident. No, I think you woke up around the fourth set.
No, I definitely saw at least the ending of the third, maybe midway through the.
Okay, well, but I woke up and Japan had like a 3-point lead, and like the energy was like that they were leading. The energy was like that we were headed to a disaster. You know, getting messages from people who were there and were present, and you know, in the Discord, and it was looking like Japan was going up. Now, Rob, is there any chance that you put in the score? The picture of the score here?
I did not,
okay.
but we know what happened after that.
We know
Japan led 24-21,
and it was, bro. Gianelli goes back and absolutely bosses an ace. Micheletto goes up, or he goes in, serves again. Micheletto shuts the door on Nishida.
Straight one-on-one clamp.
Straight down. And then the game is completely different, all like that, because there was a side out before that. So all of a sudden, like we're tied up at 24s, or it was advantage Italy actually, and it was incredible, or maybe not advantage Italy, but still,
it was 24s, and then they went on that. They continued the run, went 3-1, and won 27-25. I think on a Russo block on the Bic, if I remember.
Yeah, but that changed the dynamic of the game completely and woke up Italy. Italy was just wasn't happening for them at early on. Like there was just something not going on, especially for the majority of that third set. But then they turned on, and their blocking was incredible in this one. 15 team blocks for Italy, only 2 for Japan.
That is insane disparity in the blocking game, and not that it's that surprising, given the strengths and weaknesses of the two teams, but 15 blocks to 2 is alarmingly different.
Alarmingly different. And that's one of the areas that I would have liked to have seen Japan maybe not like just be a little bit better in, like a little bit better in. But I digress. It's
when you lead 24-21 in an Olympic quarterfinal with 3 match points, and then you fail to get that done against a very good team, everything in your brain chemistry changes. And I expected I expected Italy to steal the momentum and run with it in a big way heading to the fifth, and that didn't quite happen. Japan hung in there emotionally better than I expected them to. But still, as good as Japan has gotten, and as much development as their program has done, and as high as they have climbed in the volleyball world, and as almost perfect as they were today, I don't think that they were mentally ready to be perfect when perfection was needed late.
No, I think you really saw that in the way that Sakita ran the offense, because as the game progressed, and we said on whatever day we did the preview that for Japan to be relevant in this match and for them to have a chance, we needed to see Super League of Playoff Ishikawa,
right?
And that's what we got.
We saw,
and that's what we got. That was Ishikawa at his peak. He was outstanding in this one, like all of the roses to Ishikawa in this matchup. He was arguably the best player throughout the course of the match, throughout the entirety of the match. He may not have been the most clutch at the end. However, I think when you look at that, it kind of felt like Luke Herr just shoving the ball at Mar, right? And we've seen that with Canada a few times where like Mar will get 2, 3, maybe even 4 swings in the same rally, and it's just like, bro, let's go elsewhere. And it's not like some of the other attackers for Japan weren't going great. Ren did not have a great day, especially offensively, and I think he hasn't necessarily had the greatest tournament. But Nishida was
great,
really good. He was 18 for 34, right? Like
especially in that matchup.
Like you barely gave any. Like Onodera had 1 kill. 1 kill. You set Onodera 1 time the entire match. Same thing with Yamauchi. Yamauchi a little bit more, but you set the middle 11 times. Japan, you're a middle dominant team. You need to set the middles to be able to release your pipe. It's one of the best options you have, right? So as you saw the game progress and as you saw them get tighter and tighter, I thought it was especially Sakita who tightened up, and it was just Ishikawa, feeding him too much. And yeah, people are calling him a choker, but like you can only take so many spoonfuls of food before you choke. And he was being overfed. He
was. That's the analogy. That's it. And again, Yuki Ishikawa was unbelievable, and he has not been good this tournament. And you called for it, that for Japan to have a chance, he needed to be great, and he was. I mean, 30 for 61, 61 attempts for a player like that is far too many. This isn't the women's game. No.
This isn't Vargas or Agonu.
No. And it's not Japan's identity. It's not the way to play that produces the best volleyball for Japan. And that's the area where I think that they as a team mentally were not ready to win this game. They put themselves in position to do so, but mentally they were not quite ready to do it. It is a bigger stage reminder. It reminds me of the Czech Republic in Olympic qualifiers, and they were up, I think, 14-11 in the fifth against Brazil, and they were not mentally ready to win that match. Yep. They were not mentally ready to do it, and Japan wasn't either. They came so close. They played the best volleyball they could have to get them those chances, but they were not mentally ready to push it over the finish line. And that's where the C word comes in, the choke word. And I promise I'm not trying to like demean the Japanese fan base while they're down, even though, God, am I happy they lost this match. Especially in that fashion. Oh my goodness.
Sorry, I wasn't making a face on you at chat, but go ahead.
I'm really not trying to like make a bigger deal than it was, or like dramatize it. But unfortunately, the fact of the matter is that Japan choked away a chance to play in the Olympic semifinal.
They did have 4 match points, 3 in the third, 1 in, because that's another point too. Like they managed, I think they were up 16-15 at a point too, right? Like they had a match point in the fifth.
It might have been 14-13, and Onodera buried a float serve in the middle of the net.
Yes, something like that. But
it was 15-14. That's what it was.
But when you look at this match, like 20-25, okay, but then you get 25-23, 27-25, 26-24, 17-15. You get 4 sets that go to the limit. It was absolutely amazing and outstanding.
And Italy, as we're talking about Japan not being clutch, my goodness, was Italy clutch. They were so clutch in every one of those late set situations, sets 3 through 5. They were awesome. Unbelievable mental fortitude by that team, and that's where this game was won. And then Alessandro Micheletto and Yuri Romano deserve a lot of the credit, but the most of it to me is Simone Giannelli.
I think all of the credit for the bad and the good goes to Simone Giannelli.
I kind of
agree. I thought he was pretty terrible in sets 1 and 2. And they just weren't really connecting offensively. And then they really he made that ace
in the third late.
That to me is and I messaged a certain friend of ours, Rob, and I was just like, that needs to be clipped out somehow, because that could be a TSN turning point. If Italy goes on and wins this Olympics, which will be their first ever Olympics in men's volleyball, they are tied for the most medals ever in Olympic men's volleyball with Brazil and the Soviet Union, which is different than Russia, just to be clear. If they won this, if they have never won a gold, just silvers and bronze. So if Italy manages to go on, that moment with the game on the line, the Olympics on the line, the season on the line, the quad on the line, your reputation on the line, you go back in the coldest moment, serve an ace like that, bro. And then after that, you serve another tough serve, and the other superstar in your team who has the potential to get every single major trophy in volleyball at only the age of 23, he follows it up with one of the biggest blocks ever. Fuck yes. I want all of that.
Awesome.
All of that. That is character defining moments. That's what champions do. They've won before. They've won world championships. They've won Euro volleys. These guys have won Superligas. They've won Champions Leagues. This is a team that is ready to go and win an Olympic medal. And that's literally 2 teams that we've talked about now who are ready to go do this. And I cannot wait.
And it's a fact that volleyball players' legacies are made in the Olympic Games.
Yes.
And if and when, maybe down the line at the end of Simone Giannelli's terrific career, if and when he gets inducted into the International Volleyball Hall of Fame, his Hall of Fame highlight reel, maybe the first play in the mix will be that service ace.
Which definitely has to be one of his top 5 plays ever
of all time.
Maybe number 1.
A career defining moment for him, and the impact on the match and the impact on the rest of his team's belief that a comeback of that magnitude was possible. It was unbelievable, an iconic moment in the history of the sport.
Yeah. Corneille Ray, 619. I fully agree. The difference was that Italy won the sloppy points. They won the scrambly points. They won when you had to engage in rallies, and that's usually where Japan.
That's exactly right.
Right. That's where I said that. If Italy is on and Japan's on, which is not what we saw in the first 2 sets and first 3 sets, to be perfectly honest, then Italy has the advantage because they have the skill and the structure and the physicality. Right, they're the team that has all 3 of those in the best ways. Now, obviously, the skill and the structure is there for Japan, but maybe not. Obviously, not the physicality.
Right.
So that's what we saw. Is that as soon as they were able, I thought Balasso made a one-handed dig. I think it was in that 3rd set. I think it was the dig to kind of save anything. He made a one-handed dig where it was chopped off the block from the middle. He was moving one way and stuck his hand out and dug it out. I'm pretty sure that's the dig that pushed them. Bro, this Italian team is so skilled, and they were able to win it today. And I mean, I feel bad for this Japanese team. I really do. I thought they were playing fantastic up until the end of that 3rd set, but I prefer this Italian team to move on because they are a much better team.
They're much better. They're going to be much more relevant for the medal rounds, and I do believe that the better team won. But my goodness, was it an awesome spectacle? And somebody in the chat is asking us, and he's right. Tomohiro Yamamoto deserves credit as well.
22 digs,
unbelievable defensive ability by Japan.
Digs.
Completely kept them in the game, and was so important to the style that they play, and he was terrific. But sorry, Weebs. Sorry.
Also, Ozzy,
did
you're
blow it.
completely right. Oh, yeah, they did. But
They blew
Ozzy, that jump set kill from Onodira to
that was pretty
Ishikawa,
slick.
that was sick.
That
Like
was slick,
jump set, side sets, like, okay, Onodira, let's go. Middle's
But then he buried a float serve in the middle of the net at 15-14 in the fifth.
Yep.
So you take the good with the bad. Also, really importantly for Japan is people already the Weeb fan base is just beside themselves today. They do not know how to wrap their minds on the fact that their team has failed. Philippe Blaine is retiring from the Japanese national team. They are going to be in the middle of a head coaching search and trying to find a leader to define the future of this program. And all the talent for Japan is still there. I mean, I think Sakita is their oldest, most important player at age 30, I think. He's 30, and everybody else, like all the key attackers and Yamamoto, are all younger than that. So Japan still has a chance to continue to do great things, but they're losing their head coach.
Yeah, I know Nishida has mentioned that he's like he mentioned right after the match, and the quote is going around that he's going to take a year or two off from the national team.
I think a lot of players are going to do that.
Yeah, and that makes absolutely. And I mean, he's got even more reasons. He's got to go pump a few babies into Serena Koga. And tell me I'm wrong. That's why she's
you're not. No, you're definitely not wrong.
She's retiring. And good for him, taking some parental leave. Basically, you're going to take some right. Like, let's get it going. Now you're both out of the Olympics, so chop. The cardboard beds are there in the athletes village. That's what the volleyball world wants and needs, really.
Speaking of that, our new friends at Volleyball World, you should be ashamed about yourselves about the disparity in coverage of the two losing teams that we've already talked about. All the sappy sob story posts about Japan losing, and not a single thing recognizing Slovenia. Zero coverage recognizing Slovenia and their achievement at this Olympic Games, but all it's been is whiny tears for the anime fans of Japan. We've got to be better than that. That's why we get so angry on this show about the Japanese fan base is garbage like that. Be better. Slovenia deserves just as much recognition for their achievement being tied for fifth place as Japan does.
Sorry, I'm too busy reading the chat right now. They're still not over what I said, but
I know they were waiting for me to go in on them for that too, because in the Discord earlier we were like, not that we were surprised, but we were kind of taken aback at the lack of anything at all for Slovenia, especially compared to Japan's social media coverage. They both are out in the same place in the tournament. That's the magic of the quarterfinal. And Kevin Barnett kind of said it in the broadcast of the USA game just now, that like when you think about the Olympic experience for volleyball, like pool play is its own thing. The medal rounds are their own thing. Like the quarterfinals are so uniquely themselves because there's such a finality to it. If you're out, you're out. When you lose that match, you are out. You are tied for fifth, and like all in the snap of your fingers, your Olympic Games experience, and in many cases, your career is over. But when you win in that round, you get yourself two more matches.
Yeah. No, and like it sucks. Like no coverage for Slovenia, no coverage for Germany, or really. I fully understand leaning in to your biggest audiences, but you also got to respect the other audiences and the other teams.
There's journalistic integrity that needs to be there for sure.
Adhered to. Yeah, for sure.
One of the great matches of one. Yeah, speaking of which, this is going to be one of the funniest segues of all time. We are obligated, and that you all should and happy, obligated, but also happy to encourage you all.
We're gonna be part of the change, Rob. That's the point, right?
We're obligated and happy to encourage you all to go pick up subscriptions to VBTV. It's Volleyball World has put this platform together that has made volleyball more accessible than it's ever been, and they deserve a lot of credit for building this thing that you will subscribe to it. It's a matter of when, not if. And we now know that we have a promo code that we can give you for a discount, and that is VS10. So use the code VS10, save a little bit of money on your VBTV subscription. We got a link in the description for you. So that is there for you if and when you need it. And similarly,
Similarly, you can head over to shop.volleyballworld.com and pick up some of the official Paris 2024 game balls from Mikasa. They crisp. They got the great branding, and you can get the official ones. You can get the replicas, and you get the little mini balls that Tom Brady was rocking today, and all the celebs have been rocking around. And there's also plenty of other great things on the shop.volleyballworld.com. There's VB World merch and VNL merch and old beach jerseys as well. So the equal jersey too. So head over to shop.volleyball.world.
Yep, link in the description for that. Let's move on. We got more unbelievable matches to talk about. This one, oh boy, 2 reverse sweeps in a row. Germany went up 2-0 on defending champs France in Paris, including an absolute thievery of set number 2, 28-26. But France brought it all the way back, featuring a lot of drama in the 5th set, Everett, which I'm sure we will get to. But the reigning champs are still alive. They take it 15-13 in the 5th. And before we talk about the red card that Tobias Krick received, I will say that as whatever case that the German fans have to complain about, and I think there is one, they missed 3 serves in a row to give France points 13, 14, and 15.
Yeah.
That's
if Japan had, sorry, not Japan, Germany, had played differently in that 5th set, especially, you could have had some grounds to stand on. However, addressing that was a wild call. That was given what Irvin Ingepeth was doing and
That's
getting away with the entirety of the match. And Krick comes down and looks through, like, it's not like Krick is menacing. It's not like he's mean mugging out there. He's not Herrera. He's not going to go out and get into a fight. That would ruin his TikTok image. Let's be like clear about that. But for you to go out and call that and give that a straight red card, and
it's completely ridiculous.
I understand they had given the yellow earlier to Kampa.
Apparently they gave a yellow to Kampa in the 4th set, which we did not even see on the broadcast.
I don't know. It was a wild call. And then the inconsistency too on the throw calls.
Oh, the one that ended the 4th set against Brema versus the left-handed chuck that Irvin got away with.
That was the left-handed chuck where he's just like literally
the ball's so far behind him, he opens his shoulders,
and you can see it in the slow-mo where he like grabs it and throws it over his shoulders.
Unimaginable.
It was wild. And I mean, it
sucks, Everett. It sucks that we have to talk about an absolute classic 5-set banger of a match, and the first thing that we have to talk about is officiating. That 100%. Sucks. And volleyball is normally like insulated from this because of the nature of the sport and how good the review system has gotten, and that almost everything is objective. And basically the only 2 things that are not objectively officiated are the judgment on throws and what constitutes a card. And those 2 things came into play in a big way. And I don't really think you can argue that it was not balanced. It was not balanced. What Irvin Ingepeth was getting away with in both the ball handling in the 3rd contact off-speed offense and the stare downs and the trash talk, like it's honestly it was a concerted effort for Irvin to try and turn the game around doing some of that stuff. Like that's what he is good at. That's what France is good at. Like he was trying to give his team an edge mentally. He was pushing the line as far as he could. And the officials never stepped in and put a stop to it. And I don't even think that he got a card the one time that he got scolded for talking trash after a kill.
Never. No.
And then Tobias Krick comes down, doesn't even say anything, just looks through the net and gets a card in the 5th, which to be red.
4th. Who's that?
5th. The card was in the 5th. The red card was in the 5th. It was 8-5 after the side. It was 8-4 at the side change. Germany sided out. 8-5. Then they got a transition look, and Krick put it down in the middle for 8-6. He stared. The alleged stare down was at 8-6. Red card gives the serve and the point to France 9-6, and they win 15-13. Now again, Germany missed their last 3 serves, So that however you want to complain about the imbalance, Germany had the game in their hands at the end and they missed 3 serves in a row. But that officiating was not objectively balanced on both sides. It was not.
So it looks like when I look through the points here that the yellow card happened before the 5th set for Kampa.
Yeah, what I heard was that it was in the 4th set when Kampa got the card. And then am I just an idiot that doesn't know the rules that you only get like 1 yellow card for your entire team for the entire match?
But apparently Kampa got a yellow card to start the 5th set. So because it's like literally when you look at the points on the Olympics, like 0.00 is Kampa Lucas sanctioned yellow card. But then when you go up a little bit more, there's also an Engapeth sanctioned yellow card at 5:08 of the 5th, between 7-4 and 8-4, which I don't remember at all.
I remember nothing of the sort. Maybe they just like didn't show that on the broadcast.
Yeah.
Yikes. So yeah, there was all that drama. Yeah. Crick got the red card at 9-5 or to make it 9-5 in the 5th. Those others, yeah. Oh, I think it was like in between sets that Kampa got the card, like in between the 4th and the 5th, and
that's what it looks like.
Jeez. It's seriously, it's a shame that level of an entertaining match, like this is the thing that we have to talk about. And Germany has a gripe that the officiating was not balanced, and it was not. But awesome, entertaining match. It was so back and forth. It was Germany dominated the first. They came out absolutely flying. And then they came back to really steal the second set. 28-26 on a Grozer ace that just lit up Irvin Ingapet right in the chest. And then everything turned around some way or another. Man,
we've seen a lot of 5-setters in this Olympics, Rob. We've seen a lot of overtimes. We've seen a lot of second sets that have been stolen. I do want to break this down a little bit in this one, because when you look at the French side, finally they started Trevor Clevenot. So Gianni, you're welcome.
Yep.
You've obviously been listening. Just give us a call next time. We'll tell you what you think. My girlfriend thinks you're really hot. Finally started Clevenot. Patry, Rob, your Lord and Savior, Jean Patry, was
not good at all.
Horrendous. 6 for 19 with 4 errors. But Théophile came in and did a pretty serviceable job. And that to me is kind of some of the magic about this French team, that they were able to come in and get the job done despite not having some of their best players on the court. And they were still able to. They really relied on the left side today. They really relied on the left side. In this one, 21 for Engapeth, 20 for Clevenot. And this French team, man, they just know how to get it done.
Somehow, some way.
They're just real slippery and real sneaky, and just they're real good at the same time, but they just know how to get it done.
Somehow, some way. That's the thing that I wanted to bring up about that comeback effort. Is we've talked a lot about France's continuity and this core that has elevated them to now being the defending Olympic gold medalists, and they returned 10 out of their 12 from the Olympic gold medal winning roster 3 years ago. But what 2 guys kind of brought the spark to help them make that comeback? It's the only 2 new guys, Théophile and Quentin Jouffroy.
Yeah.
Really good. Blocked a couple balls in a row, served the ball great. Really good in spot duty off the bench, and helped turn that thing around. And that is sort of this magic that leads us to say that France has some kind of it factor that you can't really describe, but they've got it. The mental edge was definitely a part of it too. And Irvin Ingapet got as close to whatever proverbial line as he could. And maybe you could argue that line was not in the same place for him as it was for Germany. But he's an all-time great player, and he has the clutch gene, and they relied on him pretty hard down the stretch, and he helped them get it done.
Yeah. just talking about Klevno real quick. Once again, he was 19 for 31. As we said, he was outstanding. He has to be the starter. Grozer on the opposite side of the net, 17 for 33. How many aces did he get?
Just one, and it was the one to win the second set. I feel like I remembered more than that. 4 blocks as well. And in what is pretty much definitely his last match representing his country, comes up just barely short after giving us just an all-time great, like 12 months or a little less than 12 months of volleyball from the old legend. I hope that he can look back on this last chapter of his career and really feel great about what he did for German volleyball and getting them to this point and making them not just relevant, but like actually scary in this Olympic Games.
Yeah, I mean, bro, you're pushing the Olympic champions, defending Olympic champions, host nation, defending VNL champs to 15-13. You had them on the ropes. Really big ups to this German program. The unfortunate part is that it's probably done. I do like the rest of the pieces. Unfortunately, I even like Crick in this tournament.
Crick had a couple one-on-one reads on the Bic that like blew me away. That like almost like sucked the air out of the gym. That
I still hate his TikTok.
Me too.
And the worst is that like throughout this Olympics, I've had of like a lot of like non-volleyball plebs who have been like getting on to the game and stuff like that. And a few people have sent me his TikToks being like, "What is this?" And I'm like, you can't have me explain it. Okay. I can't be here.
Cannot be explained.
No, I can't be here explaining everything in the volleyball world. Okay. Goodness gracious.
I've been fielding a lot of texts as well the last week and a half from, fortunately none of them have been about Tobias Crick, but he does deserve credit for the way that he played. And so does Anton Brema. So does Moritz Karlitzek. So does Julian Zenger.
Maurice
Reichert, definitely. And of course, the legend Georg Grozer, but it was just barely not enough. Germany could not serve a ball in the court. I think it was Grozer, Karlitzek, and then off the bench, Ruben Schott in to serve for Crick in that order that missed those last 3 serves.
I was surprised, Rob, that we didn't see Johannes Thiele. He was the key to a lot of the success in the group stage, and I just wonder what would have happened if you would have put him in a little bit more than on the double sub, or just on like a little bit of back row.
Serve subs, whatever it was. Yeah, especially as what I liked that Thiele always has brought and continues to bring is when you need to completely change up the flow of how a match is going, you put him in, put the ball in his hands, and kind of everything changes.
Could have been nice in that like third set.
Exactly. Yeah, I would say the fourth would have been the exact perfect time.
That's what I meant in my head.
Yeah, but didn't quite see it, and I wouldn't say it's a choke by Germany the same way I would for Japan. It's just that the more clutch team and the team with a greater just like innate ability to figure it out and win ended up winning in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Rob St. Clair, it is now your time to shine because your United States of America are headed to the semifinals to take on the number 1 team in the world, Poland. But you got to feel pretty good, pretty damn good. To be perfectly honest, it should have been a 3-dong.
It should have.
Should have been a 3-dong. You're up 16-10 in the second, ended up losing 30-28. But at the end of the day, it don't really matter. You guys are headed to the Olympic semifinals. You are officially in Olympic contention. Matt Anderson is no longer an old man. He was 17 for 28 today. Pretty fucking outstanding. Sorry for swearing. I apologize to all those boomers in the chat. All around great effort here by Team USA. I thought that, especially in that first set, Brazil came out hot. They came swinging. Leal had 4 points in the first, like it was 8-4 and Leal had 8 points. He finished with 5. So you were able to neutralize him. Adriano came and did a decent job. But realistically, like Darling got subbed out. Allen, who I didn't even know was reactivated, brought back in.
I also didn't know that.
And Lucarelli, but otherwise it was all USA today, and I kind of love to see it.
There we go, Everett. Join us. Join your North American brothers. United States men's volleyball is back. We are so back, and I could not be more excited that this team is finally in the situation that they deserve to be in 8 years after the last medal chance we had in Rio. And I feel so happy for this team and the way that they're playing. And they nobody deserves it more. And I'm just over the moon excited for this team. And the way that we continue to do it is super interesting. In basically every game that we've played in this Olympics, we have bullied our opponent into making major changes. Brazil made major changes today. They sent Darlin to the bench for Allen, who was awesome. They sent Yuande Leal to the bench for Adriana, who I thought was pretty good. And even at one point, they sent Bruno to the bench midway through the third. And Cachopas played the rest of the way. He started the fourth until like a very late double sub. So whatever we're doing is forcing opponents to make major changes, and we're just having to figure it out and react and create these in-game scenarios where we are thinking on the fly and making adjustments to what we're doing and what's going well with us and our opponent. And it's just such a fascinating, like, cerebral style of volleyball to watch, while at the same time, I don't think anybody's having more fun in the Olympic Games than this team. Their body language is so good, and it doesn't look like they feel pressure, at least not the way that some other teams have, like Japan or Germany, when they are one of the teams that probably should feel pressure the most because of what happened at the last Olympics. Their body language is so good. And then you get a guy
What
like...
do you mean they don't feel pressure?
I think they feel it, but I don't think they show it. I don't really think this team shows any pressure that they might be feeling, even after really letting that second set slip away. Because we were up, I think, 18-12 and couldn't close it out.
You almost got reverse swept by Germany. Don't talk about this team not feeling the pressure. They've clearly felt it before. You're being as delusional as Japanese fans. But they did.
Whose team is still in? Whose team is still in?
Whoa!
Answer
Once
the
again,
question.
no. Once again.
Answer the question.
This is
Whose
the Rob.
team is still in?
No.
USA
Shut up. Because this is the Rob defense mechanism. Whenever I chirp him on any, he goes, "Oh, whose team is in? Whose team is in?" Because
you
can't
compared
take it
me
like
to
a
Japanese fans.
Yeah, because once again, you're like glossing over the fact that the USA has not had a super stellar tournament. This is
We've
by
had
far
a great tournament.
No, they have
We've
not.
had
it has
a great
grown.
tournament.
No, in your own head, you've had a great tournament.
Yeah,
but
we have.
Like in your own head, you've had a great tournament. But this was definitely the best outing for you guys, hands down, bar none, without a doubt.
I thought the Japan win was pretty good too. This was better.
It was good. It wasn't great.
Yeah, someone go clip Everett after the Japan game, and when he said this is the best match the United States have played all summer. And
exactly, that was a low bar. Whoa! I said the best match they've played this summer. This one was better. That was good. This is great.
I feel amazing about this. We weathered a very good Brazilian team who, although I think that we are better than them at pretty much every position, Brazil is still Brazil, and Brazil has that Olympic experience and that Olympic magic that we're going to make them a very hard team to beat in this situation, and we beat them. We beat them, and I cannot be more excited about the way.
I love how your tune changes on Brazil as soon as you beat them.
Yeah, we beat them.
All the entire time. This Brazil team won't even make the playoffs. We've got them easy. No, this is afterwards. No, this is a battle-tested, ready Brazil.
I'm having
ready to win a gold medal. And
I did not say they were ready to win a gold medal. They had no chance to win a gold medal.
Words in your mouth.
No chance to win a gold medal, and we beat a team that we were better than today. But it's the Olympic quarterfinals, and no opponent in that stage is easy, especially in the deepest Olympic Games field of all time. I am so happy with the play of three guys. The first is Matt Anderson, and he was unbelievable today.
He was great today.
If I hear the name of a certain individual with the initials JH ever again for the rest of those Olympic Games, this YouTube channel will be deleted forever. So we're not going to do that anymore.
Legend Jake Haynes?
That one. Also, the middle blockers. Max Holt's serving. Is attacking, but his serving is a huge piece of why we are here in the Olympic semifinals. He served an ace, I think, at 20-17 in the fourth, which we didn't even see on TV in the United States because of a commercial.
Was it just the Eiffel Tower too? It wasn't even a real commercial. It was just
well,
the
at
Eiffel
least where
Tower?
I was watching, it was a real commercial. But it wouldn't surprise me if the Peacock viewers saw just the enjoy this view of the River Seine, especially after what I heard. I didn't experience this, but some did. Is that Peacock didn't have the in arena audio for like the first set.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
they just had the sound of Selima, Kevin, and Paul breathing into the mics in Connecticut. What are we doing? It's like the biggest stage that American men's volleyball will ever be on, and that's the broadcaster putting out there. Anyway, also Taylor Averill. Taylor Averill did not start this match well. I think he was like 0 for 4 in his first 4 attacking attempts, and
he was not great.
Hit a couple balls uncharacteristically out of bounds, and then Heather Cox was like sideline reporting that he was dealing with some back issues. And then I think he finished the match something like 5 for 5 with a bunch of service pressure.
He was
and
also digging balls.
He was digging balls and the block touches too. He was so quick off the ground to get his hands over the net fast and slow balls down that were really the key to opening up leads for us in both the third and the fourth sets, because we were deadlocked in both of those sets. I mean, it was 16-15 in the fourth, and it was let's see, I guess we were up for a little bit more of the third before they got back within 3, and then we pulled away again late. But I loved our block defense transition game, and Max Holt and Taylor Averill, in my opinion, are playing like the best middle blocker duo in the Olympic Games. Who's playing better than him?
They're Bieniek and Kokonovsky. Like,
I mean, the trio of Poland's middles, sure, but not the duo.
Huber's been coming off the bench. Bieniek and Kobiowski. Don't be deleting messages in the chat. Don't be deleting messages in the chat over there.
That is textbook spam, and we do not allow that.
No, you know what? Keep spamming that. That's hilarious. I approve it. I approve it. And I'll have you know, Rob is the one deleting messages in the chat right now. I enjoyed watching this win from the USA. I really did. I thought it was a good one. Rob knows that I support the USA. You guys are just the most triggered fan base ever, because as soon as it's like once again, you guys are like Japan. And when I say you guys, I don't refer to, actually I do refer to you, Rob, because you're the exact same, but it's not even hating. It's just when you don't praise the USA, when you don't say that they're the God-given like gift to this earth, you guys go mental. So yeah, I absolutely enjoy being a hater to watch all of you dummies explode in the chat. So, but no, this was a really good win for USA. I loved it. There was one play from Fat Ron, and Rob, I know you know the exact one that I'm talking about, where he passed a ball on the tee with one hand up, digs it up, and then Micah's just like, fuck you, Aaron. Just gonna give it back, and he crushes it. I absolutely loved it. So yeah, I think that if this American team is feeling good and rolling, and I think, Rob, can we just jump into some semifinal previews a little bit now? I think that if this American team is feeling good and rolling, they could take a serious run at Poland. I think that this semifinal, which is a rematch of last year's VNL final, is one that could go the limit. It could go the limit. I really think so. I'm sorry, Rob. I'm picking Poland in this one. I think I'm picking Poland 3-2. I'm picking in Poland in 5.
Okay.
But this is one that could go the limit. As I said, like, this is going to be the matchup of basically the best middle pairing in the world. We have
times set for the semifinals.
Yeah. Hit me with that shit.
On Wednesday, August 7th. At 10 a.m. Eastern, Poland will play the United States. And then at 2 p.m. Eastern, Italy will play France. Those are the times. That is, I think,
10 p.m. and 10 a.m. and 2 p.m.?
10 a.m. and 2 p.m. It's
amazing.
I think it's an hour earlier than a lot of the blocks have been so far. So I think that's 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. local. But Poland versus USA will be the earlier of the two games on Wednesday, as I'm just now seeing. I'm looking up the recent head-to-head history between the two of them. We've played Poland a lot this quad. We've played Poland a lot this quad. Last year's VNL final, they beat us in Poland. 2022 World Championship, we played them twice in Poland, lost both times. We played them in the VNL semifinals in 2022. Yes, 22 in Italy and crushed them 3-0. I don't remember about 2021 if we played them at all. So the history is there, and really the we haven't lost to Poland in a major game that hasn't been in Poland this entire quad.
Okay.
And we will not, and we'd be playing them in Paris on Wednesday, not in Poland. I love the way that we match up against them. I like the fact that we have a lot more diversity in the way that we're playing volleyball right now. We're getting more contributions from more people, and I think what we're doing, especially with Micah Christensen right now, is much more unpredictable than the offense that Marcin Janusz runs.
So I disagree with getting more people involved, but we'll skip over that. But I do fully agree that I think that Micah Christensen, this needs to be an all-time Micah Christensen. For the USA to win, he needs to be in his bag, and he needs to have one of the best matches ever. He needs to have one of his best matches ever for this team to have a shot against this Polish team. Because I think physically the US matches up with Poland nicely, so you're going to be able to play with them at the block, and especially from the baseline. Offensively, and just in terms of pure firepower, I give the advantage to Poland. However, because of the way that Micah runs that offense, that's how it opens up, and I think balances out a little bit. This one has to go to the intangibles for sure. Yep. This one is which team can dig deep. This one is which team is closer together, works better together. This one is which team is going to bounce back quicker from being down, because you're going to see either one team is going to come in and absolutely demolish and steamroll the other, and it'll be like a what the fuck just happened, or it's going to be a back and forth battle all the way to the end. Yep. That's the way it's going for me. So if the USA can manage to have Micah play one of his best player games, if their skill players, aka Eric and Micah, can be the best skill players on the court, then the USA has a real shot in this one.
I agree. I think that's a really good assessment. That the intangibles are going to be insanely important at how you handle the ebbs and flows of an Olympic semifinal. And as for the way that has gone this tournament so far, I like the way the United States has handled adversity better than the way that Poland has handled it. Poland had adversity in pool play, and they came back from down 2-1 against Brazil and won that match. That was really impressive. But they got slapped around by Italy.
Bro, and I
did not like the way that they responded to that.
Bro, Poland had to scale a mountain, and you guys had to hike up a hill. We had
the best pool in the tournament. They got to play Egypt, and they needed 5 to beat Brazil, and we beat them in 4 in a bigger match.
We
beat a common opponent in a better margin of victory in a bigger moment.
This is the American fragility I'm talking about.
You're talking nonsense, and I'm speaking truth over
here, like pumping up everything your team has done, glazing over the facts. And but you know what? I'm here for it. That's why you guys do good at the Olympics. You just forget about everything, all the atrocities you've done before, and you're like, hey, we're the best. We're going to continue. But yeah, I think this one is going to be spicy. I think it's going to be a really, really good one, and it has the potential to be an all-time great.
It does. I respect the Poland 3-2 pick. I could definitely see it. I'm going USA 3-1. I think we put serious pressure on Bartosz Kurek to score. He is the key player for me on Poland's side, and he was very good today. Really good today against Slovenia, but through pool play, he was not. And I like our chances of bringing him back down to that pool play level. USA 3-1, we're going to the gold medal match.
All right, fair enough. I think it's going to be Poland 3-2.
Okay. The second semifinal, 8 p.m. local. That is 2 p.m. Eastern. Italy versus France. Oh boy! Obviously, there's so much on the line. I mean, it's the Olympic semifinals, for God's sakes. But France did beat Italy without their full lineup and with Italy's full lineup at VNL this year. Everett, you and I saw that match in Ottawa. That is the recent history that sticks out in my mind. Italy kind of stomped on France at last year's European Championship. And Italy beat France 3-2 on their way to winning the World Championship in 2022. So that's some recent history for whatever it's worth.
This one is going to be another battle.
Oh, yeah.
This one is going to be, because once again, you've got a lot of French guys who play in the Italian league. No Italians would ever be caught dead playing in the French league. So that's kind of fun.
Got that right.
And unless that end of season contract where your team's always done, because the French league has that stupid rule that if someone gets injured, you can go pick anyone in the volleyball world.
The Filippo Lanza clause.
The Filippo Lanza clause. This year was Luciano Podolski. This one has like the ability of its two clashing styles in terms of a steady ball control, structure, very very calm style compared to a very creative, very, once again, skill-based, very emotional style in the French. Plus the fact that you're going to have 12,000 rabid French fans in the South Paris arena.
Crowds today.
Oh
my goodness.
There will be another red card. I kind of agree with that.
I like that. I mean, if France starts to trail, like if they drop a set or even two sets, then you better believe that Irvin Ingapet is going to start towing that line again, the way that he did today. Italy's got to be prepared for that. Italy, if they play Italian volleyball, I think is better than France.
Yes. If Italy plays, but just like I heard I forget who it was, but they were talking about the NBA and they were all excited for like, oh yeah, game 7. We're going to this, like we're playing against this team. I think it was the Lakers. They're like, you do know that we're going to have to win by 15 to win by 1. And I think that if this was a volleyball world event, you definitely wouldn't see the favoritism for the home nation. But this is an Olympic Games, and you're going to see the favoritism from the home nation. We just saw it. We just saw it. Like France is going to have a 7th and an 8th player on the court with them. They're going to have the crowd, and they're going to have the ref. Luckily, Italy, it might be the best team to nullify all of that, because I think that they deal with those conflicts pretty well, especially for being such a young team. So it's going to be really interesting to see, can France goad Italy into playing that emotional style game? Because if they do, then it's game over for Italy. Then it's game over for Italy. But France can't outskill Italy. They can't out physical them. Like Italy has, I think, like they're at least maybe not chalk in the middle, but Italy can play with them. Like especially Chinese and Legoff, like the Italian middles can play with them, and Italy has the advantage on the outside. The big factor will be for me is can Jean Patry show up, respond, and be the guy that we know him to be, and not the guy that he was in the quarterfinals.
And can Yuri Romano continue to have the best tournament of his career? The opposite position is going to be a massively important one. And I think the middle of the court area is going to be really big too. What team can activate it more? What teams can get front court and back court middle attack involved the most? That sort of thing is going to be massive. And then all the many intangibles that there are. You're right. You nailed it. It's going to be 8-on-6 this entire match. With it, at the very least, the crowd is going to be unbelievable on the French side, and hopefully not the officiating, at least not to the degree that it was today. But certainly can't rule it out. I do though think that Italy is a better team, and if they can, like again, if they can play Italian volleyball and bend the game to their level of control, which is what they're really good at, I've got them 3-1, and I think that they can. I think that they will. I think this is Italy's Olympics. I think this is their moment to finally. I'm not going to say they're winning gold, because I actually picked in the Volleyball World preview that we did. My podium was USA 1, Italy 2, France 3. And I'm going to stick with that, even with the way that this bracket is broken out. In that preview, I had France beating Japan in the bronze medal match. That obviously is not going to happen, but I'll spoil the rest of the tournament for you, at least as far as my predictions go. I'm picking USA 3-1 over Poland. I'm picking Italy 3-1 over France. I'm picking USA 3-2 in the final, and I'm picking France 3-2 over Poland for bronze.
Okay, fair enough. I'm also picking Italy 3-1, and I think they need to win this match in 3 or 4, because if you go into a fifth set with France, with the crowd, with the refs, and I will be clear on this, like the refereeing has been atrocious for all. Like there's a clear favoritism towards the French athletes at the Olympics. This isn't a volleyball thing. This is an Olympic thing. And once again, they're gonna have the crowd. So if you get into a fifth set situation, that's when the mountain just became Mount Everest. Realistically, not undoable, especially for this Italian team. They've won so much being so young, but is definitely going to be a good one. So yeah, I'm picking Italy 3-1, Poland 3-2.
Okay.
And also for all the people who were saying that Romano was Romano today instead of Roma yes, he was 16 for 31 with only 3 errors, got a block and 2 aces. So y'all don't know what you're talking about.
Sometimes I think that our chat doesn't actually watch the games.
No, me neither.
Sometimes. All right. That is the men's Olympic volleyball tournament. Fortunately, before our semifinals on Wednesday, we get another day of bangers. Fortunately for Everett and I, it's the last day that includes games at 3 a.m. Eastern time. Fortunately for just our lives and our sleep schedules. But it's women's quarterfinal day tomorrow on Tuesday, August 6th. And if it is anything like what we saw today, anything like it, then we're going to be in for another banger of a post-game show. China versus Türkiye is the first match at 9 a.m. local, followed by Brazil versus the Dominican Republic, followed by the United States versus Poland, a big matchup there to set the stage for the men the following day, and then Italy versus Serbia, Egonu versus Boskovic. We already previewed the whole women's quarterfinals on yesterday's show, so go watch that, or go watch the bit that we clipped out about it. Everett, how are you going to handle the sleep-related problem for this day tomorrow?
This is the last day of it.
It's the last day of it.
I didn't take my Vyvanse today, which means I'm going to be able to sleep tonight. So I'm going to go meet my friends at the bar real quick, pound a few brewskis, stumble home. Hopefully the drunkenness will help me sleep a little bit. And then I have a Caesar waiting for me in the fridge. So I'll pound one of these Mott's Clamato bad boys. Yeah, be good to go for 3 a.m. for China versus Türkiye.
Let's go. If seriously, the women's volleyball tomorrow, you got a high standard to live up to set by the men today. That was tremendous entertainment. I got my USA jersey on, by the way. Shout out to my good buddy Zach from here in Chicago. He came over to watch the game with me today and gave this to me as a late birthday present, and I'll be wearing this for every USA game from here on out. The vibes are good. For now. Thanks, people. We'll see you tomorrow after women's quarterfinal day, and we're looking forward to it. Hope you are too.
Shogun, I've been an addict for a long time, okay? Don't get me started.